Hi, this is Joseph. In this video, I'm going to talk about the typical or what you could expect as far as the percentage gained on any given trade. It's always going to vary. Some of the trades I don't have like a precise take profit level that's always going to be, let's say, 50 points away from the entry, and then I just duplicate that. It really depends on the trade. Some of the trades are 2-for-1 reward to risk. Some of them are 3 and 4, maybe even 5 times reward to risk. It really depends on the setup. And for example, as you can see what happened today. So today is the 25th again of May, and this trade was a decent trade. I get the question, how much on a percentage basis do you make on each one of these trades? And they're trying, I think the reason why a lot of people ask that question, they're trying to figure out how soon, if they use my service, could they expect to pass the evaluation process. So for example, I put out a little article, like a message today, and I'm going to be making a video on it shortly. It's for the My Forex Fund funding company, and they have a 10K account. So they got a $10,000 account that you can it's like a challenge. So it's an account that you could actually try to get. I recommend, if you haven't worked with any one of these companies before, start off with the smaller one so that you can see what it's like. You get a feel for the, trading within the parameters that they have. But I have accounts with each one of these companies, so I'm really familiar with the parameters that they have. So there's an 8% profit target on phase one with My Forex funds, and then phase two, I believe, is 5%. So if you take a look at this particular trade, this was a trade that was executed on a 10K account, on a $10,000 account, and I was using a 0.01 lot size, trading the US30. And this is a pretty decent move. I mean, it wasn't too big. It wasn't bad. And this resulted in just a little over 1.6% return, based on the 10K account starting balance. So if you're trying to go for 8%, you can see that, just a couple of more days like this, just maybe, 3, 4, 5 days on a typical move like this. Again, this isn't large. This is certainly not like the trades that I took last week and the week before, where we were getting really big trending moves. This was a trade that I took last week, and it went to the first target, and then I had a second target down here, which ended up with just over 1,100 points on this trade to the downside. So that's not going to happen every day. That's the thing that you got to keep in mind. It's not possible that I'm going to be able to catch these trades with 1,100 points every day. This was pretty obvious. I mean, this was just so obvious during the overnight session, and then waiting for the New York market to open up, and then just kind of trading it and holding it for the most part until the end of the day. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, but it happens often enough to prepare for it and to expect it. These are going to give you a big boost in your performance and your profits, and it's going to get you closer to passing your evaluation phase. So again, 8%, this is a 1.6% trade right here, and it was relatively small. Very often I can do maybe twice, or trades that would be the equivalent of the profits that were available here, about 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day. It really depends. Again, if it's really choppy in a tight range, then I'm not going to have too many opportunities, and maybe you could just expect one trade. So this is the way to think about it. On a slow day, I could potentially, again, if the market provides the opportunity, this is not a guarantee or a promise, but on a typical slow day with just one trade opportunity, it would be about a 1.6% gain for the day. And then there's going to be days where we get opportunities like this, or maybe even half this size, or maybe I would get 2 trades that would be similar to this one here in a single day. So just to keep that in mind, let me show you what it looks like on a larger size trading account. So this is basically the same trade, just obviously a larger size trading account. This is a 500K or 400K account, would be about the same thing. But as far as the lot sizing, so you can see here I'm using a 1.50, 1.5 standard lots on this one. Now I do have other accounts that I would execute, let's say 3 standard lots on my own, because I have funding. I have accounts with all of these funding companies. So different size trading accounts, obviously I can increase the lot size, but I want to give you a sense of what you could expect. So the 0.01 is about $1 a point on the US30, as you saw just in the previous account. That was about $163, I think, on that one, and 50 cents. And this one here generated a total profit of 31,125 on 1.5 lots. And then very often on an account about this size, I'd be trading about 3 standard lots. So that would have actually doubled the on my other account, it would have doubled the profit that you see here, which is 62,000, a little over $62,000 there for the day on just this one trade here for this particular on May 25th. So again, doing the same thing. I traded larger accounts using 3 standard lots on this move here to the downside, earning 1,100 points. Each one of these, I think on one standard lot, it's about $100 per point. So I'm sharing this information with you to give you an idea of what you could expect as far as the amount of profitability in some of these trades, depending on the size of the trading account that you go after. So again, if you've never worked with MyForex Funds or any of the other funding companies, I would recommend starting off with a very smallest size trading account. MyForex Funds has a 10K account, which is what I showed you in the previous account, and that I think that's $84 to get that started. And then again, it's the phase 1 is 8%, phase 2 is 5%. So it's relatively easy to do. Again, I can't promise the exact number of days that I will pass the each phase for you, because it really depends on the amount of activity each day, right? It's not, you can see that this day certainly was not like this day or this day. You know what I mean? They're very different. Each day is a little bit different. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to wait for the setups. But this is exactly what I do. I have accounts with all of these funding companies. So if you use my trade copier, I'm executing the trades in my own account, and the trade copier will just duplicate the same trade for you. And I'm primarily trading the US30. The US30 is a relatively big moving instrument. I mean, we can expect 100, 200, 300 point moves even on a slow day for the most part, and that's going to provide really good opportunities to make really healthy profits. Even again on a 0.01 lot size, if it moves 200 points, that's $200, and the target, the 8% target on the 10K account is $800. So you're already, you're pretty close to, $200. Your target's $800. So you can see that it wouldn't take too many days to actually qualify for phase 1, and then you can move on. But you don't have to start with the 10K, or if you've already have some experience, you don't have to go after the 10K account. Go after, a 200K account. There's also a couple of other companies out there that offer a 400K account. So, and then a few even have larger size trading accounts than just the 400K account. So it's a excellent opportunity to make a lot of money. And you can continue to use my trade copier even after you pass the evaluation process, and then just let it, let it continue to run on your live account once you get that funded account. And I would be basically doing all the trades for you. So on a small day or a slow day like this, I'm going to have smaller opportunities, fewer opportunities. On days like this, this particular day, I could see that it was probably going to be a trending day for most of the day, that I could more or less get in. And it's not that I'm thinking I'm going to get in at the beginning of the session and hold to the end of the session, but there are days when it actually does that. It just kind of trends, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, throughout the entire day. Those days are really, really powerful, and they generate a lot of profits, and they're very, very easy to trade. This is obviously a little more challenging, but today was also, the release of the FOMC information, and, the market was kind of waiting for that. So there was an opportunity in the beginning of the day and then finally afterwards. So got to be careful. You need to pick the opportunities, be very specific about it. But you can see with a 400, 500K account, one decent trade like this, that's relatively small compared to a lot of these other moves, is going to generate like $30,000, $31,000, $40,000, and that's in a single day. And I trade this market 5 days a week. I can't, again, I can't say exactly how much profit I'm going to make every day, because every day is going to provide different opportunities. But this is a relatively slow, small trading day for the most part, in my opinion, compared to most of the profits that I make. And you could really generate well over $100,000 for the month as far as your take home, and you would get anywhere from 75 to 85%, depending on which company you use. Thanks for watching.